Hello Hornets, welcome and thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to be taking a look at a warm-up that does revolve, kind of works with a calculator in order for us to find various bits of information. Now you'll notice the first question is asking you to find the line tangent to the curve of y equals 5 minus x squared at the point 2, 1. That forms a right triangle with the coordinate axis. Find the exact area of this triangle. Now what I want you to remember is that if we have y equals 5 minus x squared, we're looking at a parabola that is opening down. There's a y-intercept that goes through 5, and then we have our x-intercepts, which are at negative root 5 and positive root 5. Now, they want me to form a tangent line at the point 2, 1. Well, there's 2, 1. And there's the triangle that they're talking about. So I need to find my y-intercept and my x-intercept, which will give me my base and my height respectively. I can then take the area equals 1/2 base times height. So in order to do this, we're going to be going to our calculator. We're going to turn on the calculator. And I'm going to make sure that I put into it 5 minus x squared. Let me zoom in just a little bit more for you. Now, when I do this, I want my windows to start at 0, and I need to go to a reasonable value. So I'm going to go, let's go to 8. And then I'm going to make sure that my windows are from 0 to about 10 to 12. So here is my curve. And if you recall, in order to find the tangent line, we're going to hit second program. 5 is the tangent line. At 2, enter. And you'll notice it now gives me the equation of the tangent line as negative 4x plus 9. So if I have y equals negative 4x plus 9, my y-intercept is 0, 9, and so my height is 9 in length. Then I need to find my x-intercept, and that means letting y equal 0 and solving for x. And you'll notice I'm getting 9/4 is equal to x. That means the x-intercept is 9/4, comma 0, and I have a length of 9/4. I can now put it together as area equals 1/2 times 9 times 9/4, and I end up getting 81/8. So 81/8 is the area of this right triangle formed from the tangent line to the curve of y equals 5 minus x squared and the x and y axes. Let's go to our second question. The second question that we have is a tricky one because it requires that we draw a picture, just like our first one did. Two cars are traveling along perpendicular roads. Car A at 55 miles per hour and car B at 35 miles per hour. At noon, when car A reaches the intersection, car B is 50 miles away and moving towards the intersection. This is important so that we know our actual rate of change. We then have at what rate in miles per hour is the distance between the cars changing at 1 p.m. So stop and think about this for a minute. We have a car that is at an intersection, moving along perpendicular roads. Now we have to decide, is this car A going to be moving left or right or up and down? I'm going to have it move up and down. And it's moving at 55 miles per hour. Now at the moment that car A is right at that intersection, car B is 50 miles away, moving towards the intersection at 35 miles per hour. Well, 1 hour later at 1 p.m., car A has now moved northerly 55 miles. That's because it was moving at 55 miles per hour and only 1 hour has transpired. Meanwhile, car B has just moved 35 miles per hour, 35 miles, and is now 15 miles from the intersection. We now have car A here. Car B has moved to there. I know that the y prime rate of change is 55 mph, whereas x prime is negative 35 mph. Once again, distance is decreasing, it's got to be a negative rate. And then we have x is 15 miles and y is 55 miles. That leaves me to find z, and my goal is to find z prime. So using the Pythagorean theorem, we have x squared plus y squared equals z squared. And that gives me 2x x prime plus 2y y prime equals 2z z prime. And therefore my z prime, which is my ultimate goal, is going to be x prime plus y prime divided by z. And you'll notice I need to find z, and the only way I can do this is with the Pythagorean theorem. The Pythagorean theorem would require me to put in the 15 squared and the 55 squared to the square root. I end up finding that z is approximately 57.00877125 miles. Now I can put everything in. I have x prime, y prime, and I have z. And I find that the two cars are moving away from each other at a rate of 43.8529 miles per hour. And I know that they're moving away from each other because the z prime is a positive. If the z prime had been negative, their distance would be decreasing from each other. That was number 2. Number 3. Number 3 asks me to find the slope of the tangent line to the curve y equals the arc cosine of the log x, and I have the quantity to the power squared. So part of this is just making sure that we can put this into our calculator accurately and make sure that we are in appropriate mode. So I'm going to go to my y equals, I'm going to put parentheses, arc cosine is second function cosine. Put in log x, close, close. Then I need to make sure that I close it one last time and I square it. Going to my home screen. I'm now going to find math 8, x alpha trace y equals at the value of 3. And I end up getting negative 0.3536. And that is my answer to number 3. Thank you very much, Hornets. I hope this has been helpful to you. Please remember, if you have questions, please always come in and get help. And if you like this video, please click like. Otherwise, if you have constructive criticism, I would love to hear it. Thank you very much. Have a great night. Cheers. Bye-bye now.